Hi, Stacy.
Hi, Stacy.
I'm Mary Yuskis,
And I'm Jay Yuskis.
and this is our audition video for
House Hunters.
House Hunters. You asked us to tell you what we do for a living. I am a college administrator. Right now, I'm a CEO of my house, taking care of my three beautiful daughters, Jillian, Lauren, and Megan.
And I'm a director of IT at a small insurance company in Jacksonville, Florida.
You want to say what the budget is?
Yeah. Actually, the reason why we're looking for a new home is I'm being relocated, or the family's being relocated from Connecticut down to the Jacksonville, Florida area. We have a target budget between $500,000 and $550,000. And Mary and I have a little bit of a different style when it comes to what we want inside the house. I'd like to see more of a French country or an English country style. I like the different textures and the different roof lines and the different gables on those types of houses. And I know Mary likes.
And I like the colonial style houses with two separate floors. The first floor being mainly the living area and the sort of everyday place for the family, and the upstairs being where everybody sleeps. And we have that kind of a style of a house now, and I would love to replicate it. The joke with us and the kids is we wish sometimes we could just pick up this house and move it to our new location in Florida, but Jay says no.
Yep. Mary and I also have some pretty different ideas about what we like for interior styles. I like more of a traditional shaker style, everything very minimalist, everything
Very.
matching. I like structure, I guess you can say, where Mary has a little bit of a different opinion.
I like things that don't necessarily match. I like to pick and choose things that come from different places. Perhaps we're driving by an estate sale and I say to Jay, stop, stop, and he'll always say, no.
No, let's keep going.
Keep going, we don't need it, that's what he always says. And sometimes I like to go to consignment shops, or perhaps somebody's getting rid of something and they say, would you like to have this? So I don't really care if it matches or not, and that is a big bone of contention.
And I care if it matches
with the two of us. A lot. And everybody knows Jay likes matching and Mary can live without it.
Yep.
And usually it's can be a little bit contentious between the two of us with regard to that. With regard to a dream house, if we could have any kind of dream house that money was no object to buy, definitely on the water. We would need a big house with water views and beachfront access. I think that type of lifestyle is what we enjoy. We like falling asleep to the sound of crashing waves, but houses on the water are a fortune.
Yeah, well, the other thing I think about having a house on the water, it has that natural draw to the family. So as our kids would get older, or as family came to visit, there's more of an incentive to come visit mom and dad if we're either on the water or close to the water. So that's something that we would definitely want to do. Now, we'd probably argue over the style and what was inside the house, but I think we agree that we would want to have something closer on the water.
Interestingly, too, we have never grown up in any family situations where any extended family members have ever had a beach house or a home on the water, whether it's in New England, where we currently live, or in the Hilton Head area, or the Outer Banks of North Carolina, or even Florida. So it's not something we're used to doing growing up, but it's just something that if money was no object, I think
love to do it.
We would love to do it, although we'd probably, you're right,
Yep.
argue about how it's going to be furnished. Because I would want that whole coastal looking thing with all the bright colors, and I think you wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't.
So.
All right, I think the next thing on the list that we need to talk about are what are some of our wish lists in the new house when we move down. So I'll take a first crack at it. The most important thing for us is the house is family friendly. As Mary said, we have three young daughters. So we want to definitely have a single family house. It's something that we've had since we were married. It's something that I think we want to continue having, especially down in Florida where houses are a little bit closer than they are here, at least in the area that we are.
Plus, remember when we had that apartment in Arizona when we were first married, and the man used to bang on the ceiling?
We had some very interesting neighbors, to say
with a broomstick. He used to bang on the ceiling
okay.
because we were making too much noise.
Enough of that story. We don't have to get there anymore. But we're looking for a single family home between 3,000 and 3,500 square feet. We want to have 5 bedrooms. the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that each one of our daughters has their own bedroom. If you've ever had girls, you know that they want their own space. They kind of need their own space.
Both of us grew up with sisters. So we know.
So we want to make sure that the girls have a way to retreat from their sisters. We also want to make sure that we have a dedicated guest room or guest suite, because it's really important to us to have an incentive for our family to come and visit us. Actually, we're leaving all of our family. My parents, Mary's parents, and our siblings all will be in Connecticut once we leave. So we want to make sure that there's something that they can come down to and really feel comfortable.
And they've all declared that when it snows, they want to come visit. So we need to have somewhere for them to stay. So that 5 bedrooms was very important to us, but we found that to be kind of tricky when we were looking at houses initially in Florida when Jay was first offered the job. Remember, we went to see a couple of those houses, and some of the salespeople and even some of the real estate agents that were showing the houses were saying, "Oh, well, you can convert this into a bedroom."
There was nothing naturally.
I completely freaked out because I wanted the dedicated bathroom to that bedroom, a full bath, so it was more like a suite. And they were telling me, "Oh, well, the bathroom down the hall we can convert into a full bath."
That's not what we wanted.
And at first you were saying, "Well, maybe," and I was, "That's not going to work." No.
So just for the main numbers, we wanted the 5 bedrooms. We wanted at least 3.5 bathrooms. One of the things that was really interesting to Mary and I when we were looking at initially down in Florida is how many houses or how many builders didn't offer half bathrooms. Up here in New England,
remember that?
Every house has a half bathroom.
Nobody had half bathrooms.
We wanted a place where guests could go and use the bathroom if they want, but it doesn't have to be the place where Mary or I or the girls actually get ready in the morning, kind of have their own little guest space. So we wanted to have at least 3.5 bathrooms. Wanted to have a big kitchen that opened up. That was Mary's apartment. And both of us agreed we wanted to have a big kitchen that opened up into a large family room. So we had a large living space. That's what we have here in Connecticut now. It's what we wanted to replicate there. So that no matter where you are down on the first floor, it always feels like you're together.
Right, and with the big kitchen options in a lot of the Florida homes, there's a lot of expense associated with upgrades. Yeah. So you want to upgrade appliances, or you want to upgrade cabinetry, etc., the cost goes up. And we had a little bit of a couple of heated conversations about exactly how much money we could appropriate for any sort of kitchen upgrades, even if we had bought a resale. Remember, you said to me, "Well, we can always look at doing some redesign," and I said, "Well, I would want to do X, Y, Z," and you were like,
and then I got frightened very quickly.
Yeah, Jay is definitely the money guy, and I'm more the big picture. Wouldn't this look nice?
That looked fantastic.
And I try to think about what would it be like in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years if we're lucky enough to still be in the house, and you're more about, wait a minute, how much is it going to cost right now? So it's not always an easy solution. But and then with regard to the first floor of the house, because we went back and forth, Jay at one point was considering us looking at a single-story house. Remember that?
Yeah.
And I was against that. I like my bedrooms on the second floor and my living area on the first floor.
Whereas I had a pretty significant disagreement with Mary on that, because one of the things we wanted to do, or I wanted to do, is I liked the idea of being able to retire in place if we wanted to. So an important thing for me, even if we didn't have the one story, was to have the master bedroom on the first floor. So as we got older, we could choose to stay in the home and not have to worry about when we're 70 or 80 years old making it upstairs. So that was a bone of contention that we had to deal with.
Yeah, because for me, I wanted everybody upstairs, especially having a younger daughter who's only 7 years old, who sometimes she has bad dreams and will come into our room and say, "I had a bad dream." I was a little nervous about the idea of her having to navigate downstairs to find me or Jay if she needed us. But then we kind of, through many conversations, went back and forth and realized that eventually our 7-year-old will be 13 and then she'll be 17 and it won't be such a big deal, but we'll be continuing to get older, right?
Yeah.
And we'll have to
one of the other things that was really important to us too was having a three-car garage in the house. You don't realize how spoiled you are when you're in the Northeast or other places, even in the Midwest, when you actually have a basement. One of the things that we're giving up is going to be very hard for us is we're giving up a basement. So that's a tremendous amount of storage. Yep. So that was a deal breaker. I mean, we talked about a few things, but that really was a deal breaker, having that third car garage that we can actually store our stuff, having 3 young girls made to store our stuff.
Yep, exactly.
Well, the other things that we looked at too is flooring. I wanted hardwood.
I wanted tile. They make a new kind of tile right now. Well, probably isn't new, but it seems to be being more trendy, I guess, where it almost looks like hardwood. And that was the flooring that I really wanted.
And I didn't want to be on my hands and knees for 5 days cleaning and sealing the grout. So
yeah. So we had a little bit
of
of
debate
a
on that.
disagreement about what kind of flooring, because I have hardwood now, and quite honestly, I'm sick of it, and I wanted to change it up a little bit, and Jay didn't. So that was another one we were unsure about.
One of the other things that I was more interested in than Mary is being as structural as I am. I like architectural molding inside the house, so I like significant crown molding. I like wainscoting on the walls. Mary
could care less.
Wasn't as interested in that, but that's something that I was interested in.
The other thing you insisted on having was the pavered driveway.
I wanted a pavered driveway.
Yeah. Again, I don't care. It's a driveway. You drive a car over it, but Jay really wanted.
Something that I always wanted for some reason. I don't know. I always wanted a pavered driveway.
But that was an upgrade.
That was an upgrade, exactly.
Oh well, but we didn't want a house that we would have to renovate. It was moving a family down and timing it so we were going to get there right before school started in Florida, which it begins in mid-August in school down there, whereas up here in the Northeast, it's the end of August, sometimes the beginning of September. We didn't want to embark on a big renovation project. While it might have been fun, and remember that one house we did find that we were like, oh, this is a good price, and we could do so much with this.
Yeah, but I didn't want to move my family halfway across the country into a construction zone. Yeah. So it was.
And this is the first move for our children. Our children have never moved.
They've only known this house.
We've moved, but they never have lived anywhere but the house that we're in right now. So we really wanted to be conscientious of what they were.
Yeah, I mean,
feeling.
And then I know that you would ask the question about, do we have anything that's kind of quirky, any quirky needs or any phobias? Nothing really quirky in the house. Like Mary said, we live in a colonial now, but we do have some phobias. I know one of the things that my wife is thrilled about moving to Florida is she cannot stand snakes. So I have to figure out some way to keep all the snakes out of our yard. I don't know how that's going to happen, but I have to figure it out.
Snake-free zone. I
that's your phobia.
I have an aunt who's lived in Florida now for more than 30 years, and I asked her, have you ever found a snake in your yard? And she said, yeah. And I said, well, how close has it ever gotten to the house? What did she say?
She said it was in her laundry room?
No, the kitchen.
Well,
she had a snake in her kitchen.
All right.
Oh, brother. So that can't happen.
So enough about the phobias.
That's my phobia. So we have to make it a snake-free zone.
So what's the next thing we need to talk about, Mary? Turn the page.
Yep. We'll take you on a tour.
Yep, we'll take a little walk around our house. Actually, in our rooms that we like, we went through some of these, so we'll go through them quickly. But as you can see, this is our kitchen. This is where the Yuskis family lives.
Yep.
We were very lucky in the house that we built. My cousin is a custom home builder, so we had a lot of input into what we were doing. It was basically a custom home. I know Mary spent a lot of time in the kitchen. So kind of the piece de resistance to the kitchen is this huge island. I mean, this is where everybody congregates. I don't know, Mary, you want to talk about anything else?
Yep. This is the most user-friendly kitchen you could ever imagine. Everything is where you can just turn. You need something at the oven, the microwave, the stovetop is all in this area, refrigerator, and access to the island is very easy, so it makes it so convenient when we're in the chaos of getting the kids off to school in the morning, right? Yeah. Who does that drive the craziest?
Mary.
Me. And you can also easily serve people at our table, still have access to our family room. We have a wonderful walk-in pantry over here, so it makes it very easy when we have food that we need to store. We can just zip right in here and grab the food. It's got a lot of storage. It's got a lot of beauty to it. I love the way this kitchen is structured and the way it looks, the shaker style cabinets. Everything about it I love. Unfortunately, in Florida, it's very hard to replicate something like this, right? Because it's you don't get kitchens this big.
Well, let's go this way. This is a standard center hall colonial. So as you can see, it's Center Hall Colonial. That's where we have our half bath.
Yeah.
This is our living room. Won't talk about it too much because we talk about it in another one of our videos, but it's a pretty good sized room, and really the centerpiece of it is our extra large fireplace with a custom mantle on top of it. Mary actually designed it herself or found it in a book, and we had it custom made.
We had it copied.
And in your standard Center Hall Colonials, you'll have on either side a living room and a dining room. Not too exciting, but one of the things that we did do is we turned our living room into a home office study area. So just basic, not too expensive. So let's show. Come on.
Let's show you our home office.
This is our home office here.
So it's a little messy because this is where I work. Our apologies, but this is a room that is on the footprint a living room, but we turned it into a home office because it was more user friendly for us. And the fact that I work from home, and when Jay was working here in Connecticut, sometimes he would get stuck in the snow, and we would end up having him working from home too. Of course, the kids would have a snow day as well. Yeah.
So Lauren, you can follow Mom.
Come on down here. We're back to the center hall and our stairway upstairs. And in this room, again, a little bit messy. We're getting ready to do a toy donation for a local hospital. So as we're getting ready to clean out the house in preparation for our move, we're getting some toys ready. Also on the table are some gifts for teachers as we wrap up the end of the school year. But this is our dining room, and we, quite honestly, very rarely ever use this room. It ends up being a catch-all for a lot of our stuff. In our new house, we are converting the dining room into a study. Again, it's all about what will work for the everyday living of our family. I would say that's probably one of the biggest pieces of this puzzle, is we want to be able to get into a house that works for our daily living and not just an occasional need.
Yeah, and I think that's what we said when we started the video is livability of the house for our family is what's most important to us.
Yeah.
Our lives are girls, and we want to make sure that they're as comfortable and they're as happy as they can be.
Yeah.
So I think the last thing we need to talk about is why we're interested in being on house
Let's
hunters.
go out of this messy room. This room's too messy. And so now here we are back in the kitchen. And the other great space we have, and we'll come over here, Lauren, really quick, is our outdoor living space. And this porch right here is screened in, which makes it nice for nights when we have a lot of bugs coming through with some of the humidity that we get in Connecticut. And in our new house, we're going to have a nice big outdoor space as well. So why should you pick us to be on House Hunters?
Well, I don't know. After this video, I'm not so sure, but I mean, it's a show that Mary and I have always watched. I'm sure you hear this a lot, but we've always watched House Hunters, and we've actually always been interested to see how people live in different parts of the country, how people pick their houses, the decisions that they make, the criteria that they use, and we were just so excited about this move for us because it's going to be a lifestyle change for us. It's not us just moving because I've been offered a job in the Jacksonville area.
It's a total package.
It's a total package. It's something we've always wanted to do for our family. We think it'll be a good thing for us as a married couple, for us as parents.
Yeah.
And we think it provides advantages to our kids that we just can't replicate here.
I've been watching House Hunters for years and years and years. I think I've seen a couple hundred episodes, and I always used to joke with Jay, right? And I always
want to be on House Hunters.
If we ever move, I'm going to apply to be on that show because I want to showcase our move because I think we're a fun family and we enjoy being excited and outdoors, and we're not really kind of that vanilla type of family.
Yeah.
We are that hot fudge sundae family with the cherry on top and colored sprinkles.
Well, I hope so.
and I think too, when Jay said we've lived in other parts of the country, we've lived in Phoenix, we've lived on the Connecticut-New York border. We are not a type of family that travels out of the country often, so when we go on vacation, we tend to stay within the United States. So we've seen a lot of different parts of this country on vacations and trips, and even you more so on your business trips. And it's fun to watch the show and say, I remember that.
Yep.
You guys did an episode in Meriden, Connecticut about a year and a half ago, and you filmed a park that we always go to.
Yep.
And so it's kind of fun to say, yeah, I saw that, I've been there, I've done that. And we think that this place that we're moving to, this Nocatee,
is an amazing place.
Really an amazing place in Ponte Vedra, Florida, and I think your viewers would really
be interested in
enjoy
it. Really be interested
seeing all that it has to offer just by living there.
Yeah, and actually I think the latest statistics, or at least what they've shared with us, is that it's the 3rd fastest growing community in the entire country.
Yep.
So it's a pretty attractive place.
Yeah, and the other thing Jay and I said is that, yeah, you have to obviously buy the house, and there is a homeowners association fee to live there, but everything that's in Nocatee, anybody who lives there can take advantage of. So some of our friends and family here in Connecticut have said it's almost like we're going to be living on vacation.
Living on vacation.
So we'd love to share that with your viewers, and we hope that we've given you some good information about who we are, and our girls are very excited about the move.
And hopefully we didn't bore you to death.
Yep. And they're very fun kids as well. They love to bike ride and scooter and swim and go on water slides. And our little daughter Megan, who's only 7 years old, loves giant roller coasters. Go figure. So
okay. I think that's plenty. I think
no,
we've given
let's
them
keep
enough.
talking.
No, I think we've done enough. We've done enough.
Oh, quiet.
So
Anyway,
thank you very much for considering
thanks,
us.
Stacey.
Thank you, Stacy, and thank you, HGTV, and hopefully you're
and Pytown Productions.
Pytown Productions. Hopefully you're interested enough in us, and we can share a house hunting search with the country.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye bye.